And I was like, I'm going to ask him for a photo because I talked to one of the musicians. The guy was like, no, he loves it. And I was like, okay. I was like, hey, Seal. And he was like, hey, I've been meaning to talk to you. I've been like wanting to talk to you all night. And I was like,
whoa.
What did you just say, Seal?
Whoa.
Welcome to Guys We...
Hello, everybody. How you doing? What a time to be alive, I say. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to put out another episode of Guys We...
It's the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast. I am Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show.
Do you live in New York City? Are you going to be there Friday, November 14th? Because you're not going to miss the only time this year Corinne and I will be performing live together. We are doing a very special show. It is a tribute to our listeners in celebration of our 12-year anniversary, our Lolita anniversary. TSGIVING at the Crown Hill Theater as part of the New York Comedy Festival. It's at 8 p.m. Friday, November 14th. You're going to want to get your tickets now. It'll be a night that you'll never forget.
It's a beautiful theater. We're so excited to perform there. It's always fun to perform in a new space in your home city. And also, of course, if you are able, bring a non-perishable food donation because we are doing a Guys We food drive, which is just, you know, Krystyna and I will get in the car and we'll drive it to a local food bank.
Yeah.
It seems like it's like a big production, but it's just us in a car together.
100%. I'll put all your stuff in a box and then we'll give it to a shelter that will give it to people who need it because times is crazy, and to balance out the insanity, give and go see art. So we'll see you Friday, November 14th. If you want to send us an email, sorry about last night's show at gmail.com. Make that subject line just juicy. Today's subject line: sister is happily married, but still talks about her shitty dead ex every day. I've been a listener since 2018. I love all the advice you've given over the years and Eric's additional commentary. I hear your voices in my head when friends of mine tell me about co-signing on car loans for their boyfriends who work at Pizza Hut. And it's very much helped me think of what to say to be helpful.
Kind of hard to find a Pizza Hut these days.
I know. Oh, I love pizza. Their buffet. Come on. I'm writing about my sister who won't listen to podcasts or read a book for the life of me. I've tried. I won't use anyone's real name. I'm a big sister with a complicated family dynamic. I never met my dad, and I only had a stepdad for 4 years before he literally ran away from our small town in Missouri to be gone for 10 years and then casually drive back to our house announcing his new enlistment in the military. Oh, my God.
I love men.
Me too. He was an alcoholic, and if I'm honest, the military did a lot to help him be sober, but it only lasted 2 years before he was dishonorably discharged and disappeared again. But not before my 17-year-old self caught my mom making out with him in our living room. Cute. My mom's family has schizophrenia. One of my uncles had it, which led to a hostage, then suicide situation when I was 4 and just before my sister was born. My stepdad is my sister's dad, and I don't know much about his family since they are all pretty much alcoholic nomads moving from state to state. Oh, the American dream, huh? One time, his sister stayed with us with her 3 kids for maybe a week, and I never heard or saw them again. He had another kid from a previous marriage we didn't see more than 3 or 4 times. Later found out he had a kid that was put up for adoption.
See, you know, when people say you really don't know what someone's going through, just think of this email.
You really don't, dude. My sister dated trash boys since she was 14, but so did I. But she really attached to this one. Let's call him Jake. Jake and sis started dating senior year of high school. She goes to college where I am, but drops out so she can live with Jake and his dad, who got out of prison. Cute. They eventually hate his dad and get their own place. They get lots of puppies. Lots of puppies. What? Their house gets dog shit. Gross. They plan on getting the state to take Jake's sister away so that they can adopt/foster her. I'm trying to reason with my sister about the impracticalities of this. She stops talking to me. I didn't know anything when she wasn't talking to me because I was also in a different city. But at the time, they were doing a lot of different drugs. This goes on for years. 2 years, I invite them to spend the weekend at my place in my city as a vacation. I stay with my boyfriend, now husband. I come home and there's a broken picture that hangs at the bottom of my stairs, and Jake was sleeping on the couch while my sister was sleeping in the guest bedroom.
That was kind of on you.
What, on the girl writing?
Yeah, I mean, like that you just told everything you just told us. It was very nice of you, but like that was crazy to let them sleep in your house.
Yeah. They're not going to be good house guests. We go on through the day, and that night I joke, sis, why'd you push Jake down the stairs? And the table got weird. Yeah, no shit. My sweet husband, who grew up with good parents and an expensive education, is an optimist and didn't believe anything had happened. My sister said something quick and dismissive about it, like it wasn't true, and then went into how she was pissed last night that he had drunkenly spilled her tropical cocktail slushie right at the door.
Oh, boy. You're gonna need a deep
Do you hold
clean.
my drink right when you're driving us home, honey? We then stopped at a liquor store, and my sis went in to buy herself, and Jake asked us in the car how we had known that she had pushed him down the stairs. My sweet husband started to grasp the relationship then.
You should be like, I'm a psychic.
Yeah, you should have told. Yeah, or you know what you should have been? You know what you should have said? Just so you know. I know. And then left it at that. Year 3 or 4, she calls me crying, and I hear him yelling at her. It's 1 a.m. and I'm 2 hours away, but my future loving husband gets in the car with me, and we pick her up and take her home to our apartment. She doesn't say anything to us. She was drunk. He yelled something about her hitting him. She says he hit her. I don't give a shit about right or wrong. I'm scared shitless that my sister isn't going to make it out of this relationship. I'm crying. She's crying. Future husband drives us home. She sleeps, and then we go to work, and she Ubers back to him before we get home. Future husband worked from home at the time, but she never left her room until the car came, and she only said bye on her way out. They break up, but live together several times. Cute. She's been working at this small bar and grill for a few years.
That's good if you have an alcohol problem.
Yep. And that's a lot of people with an alcohol problem work at bars.
You got to do what you know.
Yeah, I guess. And has a good enough relationship with the owners. They let her live in a room in the basement of the restaurant.
Oh, my God.
She was initially really proud and happy, but that was always the roller coaster she was on. She goes back and forth what feels like a million times. Yeah, she might be bipolar as a result of her upbringing. I sit with her one night where I've finally gotten her alone, and I tell her to do absolutely anything to get away from this guy. I even suggest getting on dating apps and meeting new people. I tell her there's a world full of people she's never met. It was the only thing I felt like she was perceptive to. She lives for a while with this woman and with kids she works with. She dates a few guys. Some of them really creep her out really bad. She goes back to Jake, goes back to the apps. Meets her future husband in 2020. He is amazing. I cannot believe how good a match, and I am a picky big sister. He's attractive, extremely intelligent, and kind. He is very much like my own husband. His family is even from the same area of my husband's family, same colleges and things. They are both bisexual and moved like a lesbian relationship extremely fast. They moved in together within 3 months, got a dog soon after. And they were the best dog parents immediately. This dog is a pit bull mix and is the sweetest and quietest lap dog, so calm. And she wasn't that way when they bought her home. They did a lot of work with her, and she is so amazing for it. Now they live in the same city as us. Jake is 2 hours away, and they are living this amazing life together. Sis gets a job, which she still works at today. She works in a nursing home. I call her while she is at work, and I hear her talking to the residents so sweetly. She's very much in the right place now. 2022, Jake overdoses, and his mom takes a picture of him dead in his living room and posts it on Snapchat. I keep my opinion to myself. I know Jake went through a lot, but he got what he wanted. He had previously threatened to kill himself. My sister has mixed feelings. She's very sad. She keeps in touch with her and Jake's mutual friends. It's not fair to her, but telling her that she says she knows, but it doesn't appear to change anything.
I don't know what that sentence means.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I brought up the schizophrenia because the issue I always struggled with was getting her and Jake to accept logical solutions and expectations for the world. It was constantly a struggle listening to delusional ideas like taking her sister from his mom to put her in the middle of their mess. Their constant puppies in the house, tearing apart furniture and escaping the fence. They were standing in shit, convinced it was exactly how they'd wanted it.
Well, okay. So, I mean, like, it's very possible that these people had some kind of mental illness, but like also just like sometimes people have like a crackhead idea. You know,
Yeah.
like a dumb,
And they don't gotta be a
or
crackhead to have a crackhead
or
idea.
well, they were doing tons of drugs, so
Yeah.
like, I mean, I mean that like quite literally.
Yeah, their brain could be
or like
fried.
a meth idea, or just like
We should build our own house.
or just like a traditional American stupid idea. Like people can just have stupid ideas. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have mental illness. Like
Yeah.
they just, you know, like people don't understand the legal system. It's very complex. I mean, you know, in my opinion, partially on purpose to keep you from understanding it. But like, you know.
My sister will say Jake's name instead of her husband's sometimes. I've been gentle to mention it to her that she keeps talking about Jake and it keeps him always in the front of her mind. I know she'll have to carry Jake a little bit, but I'm concerned. It's been 3 years. She got married last month, and at the after wedding party, she again brought it up, the story of her and Jake. No one wants to hear about him and no one encourages it, and no one at the wedding even met Jake. How do you get a little sister to listen to her big sister? Thanks for everything you do over the years, helping me keep my sanity by listening to my favorite dark comics.
So, I mean,
That's your sister's journey, man.
yeah, I mean, it's not about how do you get your little sister to listen to her big sister. Like, yes, I agree your ideas are more sound. That doesn't mean you're 100% right and she's 100% wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty clear what happened. I know you love this new husband. I don't love the timeline on it, especially for someone who went from such dysfunctionality. Those things don't get healed in fucking 3 months because you got a pit bull. Like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Moving fast, like, it's gonna always be very hard to convince me that moving at that fast pace is good or healthy or means that everyone really thought out this decision. Doesn't mean it always goes wrong. No, absolutely not. Sometimes it goes right. But like, she had no time to unpack the dysfunctionality and abuse that was going on in that relationship. You don't even know the totality or like the fullness of the story, really. Like, it seems like that they were hitting each other. It actually didn't seem like a situation to me where I was worried about her dying at like his hands, because it seemed like it was one of those couples who were just kind of like hitting each other.
Yeah.
Like
I know those.
which is weird, but it's like a different thing. It's kind of like what I would assess as like more of like a white trash relationship, like
Jerry
something that
Springer
you would see on
romance.
Cops. It's not like straight up domestic violence, and like it is domestic violence, but like there are different like flavors of it, I guess. And that just didn't seem to me like I was like, oh, he's going to kill her. It didn't feel like that energy. Not that it was a good situation at all, but like, yeah, she had no time to heal, and then this guy dies, so she's still deep in grief, and it's very hard for grief to heal when you have unresolved issues with the person who died.
Yeah,
like it's what's called complex grief. So, you know, I get it, and like, yes, she moved on with this new guy who's great, but a lot of times when you grow up in turmoil, finding a partner who makes you feel calm, even though that is the better, healthier choice, sometimes you still miss the chaos of the partner who made you feel excited, right? Mm-hmm. And this is something even me, as someone who grew up in a stable environment, grapples with. Because I've dated, because, we all know my 20s were, fucking, and even 30s were pretty wild. So I went into this environment where a lot of exciting things are happening. I'm dating a lot of people with like addiction problems and mental health issues. And even though there are very low lows, there are also very high highs that really you don't find either of those things most times in a functioning relationship. Like, I mean, like periodically, but like this is, happening a lot more. So even though she's found this calmness, this peace, this guy who treats her nicely, it is very logical to me that she misses the chaos, and especially if she, said she was doing drugs. I don't know if she is actually an addict, but she's going to miss that thrill even more than the average person who doesn't have the addiction in them. Like this is just like, she was way too rushed, and she's deep in grief, and like what everyone around her needs to be doing. It seems like you guys are all like, stop talking about him. It's like, I completely disagree with that. Telling someone to stop talking about someone doesn't make them stop thinking about them. It makes them have to think about it completely by themselves. She needs someone to talk about this with. That's why she keeps bringing it up, because it's not healed. And this is her cry for help. We've seen this pattern a couple times with like griefy emails where everyone's just like, just stop talking about it. And it's like not the solution. Yeah. You're shutting her off. She's like indirectly, this is a indirect cry for help. So like it should be number one, good that she's doing this. It's good when someone asks for help, even if it's indirectly, and she needs to sit down and be able to talk about this and unpack this. I mean, she definitely needs to go to therapy too, but like the solution is not just saying, oh, stop talking about him, you're married to someone new now. Like you can also still mourn an old relationship when you're in a good and healthy relationship. I still mourn, several relationships because I did love those people, but it's like, man, I don't know who they are now and what is going on in their life. And like, that makes me sad. And that doesn't mean I don't love my boyfriend, Yeah. Two things can coexist. Mm-hmm. But yeah, your sister needs like support.
Yeah.
You don't just find a good guy and go, everything's fine. Like what?
It's like, it's jarring for your nervous system as someone who's always been in fight or flight. It like feels uncomfortable to not be in fight or flight. And so this is,
And it can feel like boring, basically.
Yeah. And that's weird. And then you go, well, that's fucked up. And it's, you understand the science of it, which I don't know if your sister understands that. Body Keeps the Score is a great book, but I know she hasn't listened to podcasts. She doesn't read books about that stuff.
There's a book called Hold Me Tight also that my therapist recommended.
What's that about?
That it's basically just like the dynamic of like what a relationship is supposed to feel like and how to resolve conflict in a relationship and what conflict is really about. I would recommend that. I like read half of it and then I just like gave up on the person who I was reading it for because he didn't deserve it. But I'm going to go back and read it. I think it is still like a good book.
Yeah, that's on my list.
But again, like, you can't be reading books for people who don't want to help themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by Dr. Sue Johnson. 7 Conversations for a Lifetime of Love.
It's like, again, like it's like it has like really corny like marketing, and even the title is corny as hell. Yeah. But I think that the theory that they are describing in it is very interesting, and it helps you to break down conflict in romantic relationships quite succinctly.
That's nice. Yeah, the book I'm currently listening to by Carol McBride, PhD. Will I ever be good enough?
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know you said your sister never like listens to podcasts or read books. But I mean, like if you're this interested in helping her, though, you could read the book and then
talk to her about it,
and talk to her about it, or audiobooks are a thing. I know that's like basically a podcast, but I don't know.
It's pretty good information. Honestly, once I discovered self-help books, I really got like an addict. I got really addicted to them, but it gives you information that makes you feel safer in your own body and mind, and that's kind of priceless. So
yeah, and to me, like, you're writing as if this is like a story of how your sister is like not doing well, but
she's doing great with this new like healthy thing in her life.
What I read, from this is like, wow, she's really like gotten so many things together in such a short period of time. A stable job, honestly, being able to hold a stable job, like a job, is such a testament to like how your mental health is going.
Yeah.
I know people who are like seemingly having a good life who can't fucking hold a job. Holding a job is a real like way to measure someone's mental health. And especially not only is she holding the job, it's a job where she is contributing to society, and it seems like she genuinely is good at it and enjoys it. Like that can make someone feel so amazing about themselves. And obviously most of this stuff, it's complex, but like kind of boils down to like not feeling good about you. Mm-hmm. And so doing a job like that, I think is going to make her feel very good about herself. And then being, loved by someone who is kind also will make you feel very good about yourself.
And and she might also be grieving, with her kind partner who's completely opposite of Jake, who passed away. She might be grieving the part of her that allowed herself to accept the abuse and to be abusive in that relationship. Like that's, I don't know if she ever talks about that, but that could also be something that's lingering in her mind. I can't, losing a boyfriend that I could not imagine that. That's gotta be such a mind fuck. It's gotta, next to, like second only to, losing a child, which I don't know what that's like either, but Jesus Christ, I can't imagine that would go away. That grieving process would go away, especially given how long they've been together. But thank you for writing. That's amazing. And yeah, I mean, if your sister wants to join this, I have a kind of self-help group therapy that I have on my Patreon that I do for as little as $5 a month, once a week. You can hop on a Zoom with me for 1 hour and a bunch of people all around the world and talk about whatever the hell is on your mind. And it's very therapeutic. And it's, you know, the one thing that I've realized through all the self-help books that I've read is the opposite of trauma and the opposite of addiction is connection. And there's something really uniquely special about connecting to a group of strangers on a Zoom call. You really don't think you could get this quality level of intimacy, but you feel, you know, you leave these kind of sessions feeling very seen and very heard, regardless of what you want to share. If it's something super dark and sad, or if it's something really light that you've been pondering. It's just nice. It's nice to come together and just talk. So patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson. And if you can't make any of the Zooms, the schedule for the fall I just put up. You can view that for free. You don't have to be a member for September, October, and November. If you want to get on that and see if that works for your schedule. And if not, the audio from every single therapy gets uploaded to the Patreon page, so you can listen to it afterwards if you can't make it. So yeah, I hope to see you there.
And if you want to learn, there's a lot going on in the world of politics, man. It's a lot going on. So if you want to dive into that, I do Without a Country every Wednesday. I live stream on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Last week was our most watched live stream since the show started live streaming. You know, it's not a great reason, but I did do, you know, I did a 2.5-hour episode, but I did 90 minutes basically about it was about Charlie Kirk. So if you're interested, I know sometimes you guys are like, talk about this or did you talk about this? For all political stuff, like, yeah, I did talk, whatever you're asking about. Yes, I did talk about it on Without a Country. I just think that we ingest a lot of like short pieces of political information in reels and like complex political situations cannot be discussed in 90-second portions, even though that is what our brains want apparently these days. I actually think it really contributes to the polarization that we are feeling, you know, internationally, but, you know, specifically here in America right now. So I really try not to do that. And so I know people are like, well, I just want your opinion in, you know, a minute. And like, I'm not giving you, I'm actually refusing that because I think it's contributing to a lot of bad stuff that's happening in the world. So if you want my thoughts, they took 90 minutes for me to express, and I did that. But that just goes for all things. Like anytime, you know, the listenership for Without a Country, I think is great. And there's so many people who disagree with me who listen to the show, but we have great conversations. I get really great emails. It's just like a really wonderful environment to discuss politics in, because I think the people who show up for that show are really like interested in critical thinking and having calm conversations about things. You know, I get heated in the room, but I'm like, I'm debating myself half the time. You know, it's just because I'm like, you know, counterpointing it, and I have, you know, Mike Carrington on the microphone. But you know, anytime I post a clip from Without a Country, I kind of stopped doing it because it would just be like these 90-second clips, and then people would just get in the fights in the comments section. And like, yeah, that's great for the algorithm, but it's not great for what I'm trying to do. I don't care if the clip performs well. I am not trying to add to the division. And so, yeah, it's just like a long form conversation, and that's what it is now. So if you're interested in that, 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, and then the audio and video goes up right away. So it's on YouTube and it's on anywhere you listen to podcasts for your consumption at your leisure.
Free speech, huh? Mm-hmm. I have a new fun activity where I make a feminist comment on Jeff Dye's Instagram page. Oh, God. And then you set a timer for an hour, and then you go back and read all of the angry responses to your comment. And you read them in a funny cartoon voice. Yeah. And it's actually very... it's my current form of self-soothing.
Why'd you? I mean, I understand as a comedian why you chose Jeff Dye, but out of all the comedians who are spreading a certain, kind of comedy, let's say that, sure, a kind of energy on the internet, why did you specifically target Jeff Dye?
It's only because maybe 10% of the people I follow show up in my feed. He just happens to be one of them. So he's like
okay.
one of the only ones of that nature. Like I
Yeah.
follow Tony Hinchcliffe. I follow all those. I follow all those
Right.
guys. They just never pop up in my feed ever. I don't know why.
Well,
but,
and also,
I'm not trying to make them pop up.
you know, trolling Tony Hinchcliffe would almost be too on the nose. So Jeff Dye feels like a better choice.
And it's so funny, the people that are like Charlie Kirk fans and fans of, you know, Jeff Dye. I very much, I support, like I've talked shit about Tony Hinchcliffe doing the Trump rally at Madison Square Garden. And just in terms of like, my opinion is that was such a fucking irresponsible way to use stand-up comedy. But I also believe that he is not obligated to use stand-up comedy in any way that, you know what I mean? Like he can use it in any way. And I fully support Jeff Dye, Tony Hinchcliffe, all of these guys. I support their right to do stand-up comedy and to say free speech, to be free to say whatever they want. But it's so interesting that all these free speech advocates of that nature, I'm not, like Nadine Strauss is an actual free speech advocate, like in the realest way possible. But these guys, these types of free speech advocates are so interesting to me because there's so often when you say something that they don't like, they get so mad and they want you to shut up and they like sick their little army on you, or they try to, and I'm like, do you like free speech? I don't.
They certainly don't like female free speech. That's for one thing. Yeah. I mean, I've actually changed. I talked about this on the Pet Country, but I have flipped my stance on jokes are just jokes. I used to really vehemently believe jokes are just jokes, and I don't believe that anymore.
No,
that doesn't mean that I don't support. I mean, support is an interesting word. I'm like, that doesn't mean that I'm like, say what you want. Like, I don't think people should be getting arrested, although it might be happening soon. Did you see this new article about the Mind Police?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, again, a lot of times they just post things to make everyone agitated. But there is a new bill, and again, please keep in mind when you're there, you can introduce any fucking bill you want, and people introduce crazy bills to get crazy reactions. So please, I want to preface it with that. A lot of these things are to get us agitated, but some of these things will pass. And so, new bill would give Marco Rubio thought police power to revoke U.S. passports.
Wow.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We knew it. Jenna Friedman's story at Customs was the first
indicator
step
of the direction.
Yeah, for sure.
But when I was watching footage of the Charlie Kirk, I'm not even say debates, because like I said, there are rules to actual debating, right? Like these guys approach debates with such a level of arrogance, like, prove me wrong. Trannies ain't people. Like, what? That's a terrible way to start a debate.
Yeah.
That's not a debate. That's you being arrogant and wanting to call out libtard snowflakes for your own pleasure. But there was all of those people at the Kirk rally, I assume, who were fans of him, are pro-gun, who, and Utah's very pro-gun. A lot of people pro-gun. There's a lot of states.
I've shot a gun in Utah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And let me tell you, there was no rules.
Yeah,
it was literally like a wooden frame that some guy made outside, and you just shoot into the forest.
And I believe Utah is one of those states where you can open carry on a college campus. So that's really interesting. But the one guy that was asking about, he was debating Kirk when he got shot, talking about transgender school shooters and how they're a statistical anomaly. They're just so statistically insignificant, meaning there's literally 1, 2. There's so few.
There was like 5 total, period.
But Charlie had mentioned something about he doesn't think, or there was talk about taking gun rights away from transgender human beings. And I'm like, you guys are all so fucking hypocritical. So certain groups that you don't like can't have guns. I wonder if there will ever be a day where people see their hypocrisy. I mean, we all have hypocrisies of varying degrees of our own. I certainly have mine. I certainly get heated, and I could certainly act like a fucking bully if somebody pisses me off enough on the internet and I allow my emotions to get the best of me. But I'm like, the hypocrisy of these people who support him is very confusing. Well, and it makes me think you just want to be confusing to piss everybody off, and the only way that you know how to connect with anybody is by pissing them off and pretending that you don't know you're being hypocritical. That's what I'm kind of gathering.
Well, I have to say, though, there was hypocrisy all around because for liberals, we hate gun violence more than anything. And we were like, I was not, but like a lot of liberals, I mean, I knew what was happening. I literally had to, like, when I posted about it initially, I literally had to put in the caption because I knew exactly how most of my followers would respond to this. And that was like joyously. And I had to put in the caption, trust me, this isn't the win you think it is.
Oh, yeah.
And,
it's not great for
people were mad at me for not being more openly happy about a guy getting his neck blown out. And I go, I don't even care how you feel about Charlie Kirk. I certainly don't, I did not mourn his death. But what I'm saying is, it made me mourn the impending and escalating death of the country, the erosion of democracy. But when we're talking about hypocrisy, yes, the right has hypocrisy, but like on the left, do we hate gun violence or do we like it when it takes down our enemies?
Yeah.
And so
great fucking question.
That was the problem that I was really having. I go, I thought we hated guns, and this is yet another public shooting. And yeah, in this instance, it was a guy who was spreading a lot of hateful rhetoric for sure. And someone who himself said that we're going to have to lose some people to gun violence. Okay, but
very interesting that it was him that got shot answering the question that he answered, espousing the beliefs that he espoused. Cognitive dissonance is a very interesting thing, and it makes a lot of people feel really uncomfortable. And I feel like, we could do ourselves a favor with kind of understanding what cognitive dissonance is. You can be horrified that a human being, because he doesn't have to have empathy for me when I die, but that doesn't mean I don't have empathy for him because my morals and values are different. You know what I mean? But extending empathy to somebody who died who has beliefs that you think are absolutely fucking atrocious, those two things can coexist. That's cognitive dissonance, holding two opposite things about a person, a place, an event.
And I also I'm like, I don't even know if I have had empathy. I was like rather unaffected by his, particular death.
I wasn't sad.
But on the flip side, I also was not celebrating. And it was like, I was like, actually like deeply like troubled by the celebrations. Like it made me cry. I don't even know why.
It's gross. And it only incites more violence.
It just made me really sad for the country. Cause like, I really like, I don't know, I am this weird breed of leftist that really loves America. Like I'm a real like lib patriot and there's not a lot of us. But I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm so tired. I've talked about this before, but I'm so tired of like the right, like being in charge of the American flag. I still wear American flag stuff all the time because I didn't give up hope, but it's hard, It's hard. It is hard.
It's hard, man. You gotta, it's a lot and we live in an economy where the greatest asset, the thing that every company that invests billions of dollars in getting from you is your attention.
Fear. Yeah.
Of course. So I think that we could all do ourselves a favor. I think Guys We Fucked has really evolved into this thing where it's like really encouraging people to want more for themselves and live a life that they enjoy. Really be mindful of where your attention goes. Be mindful of how often you're getting pissed off reading something on an Instagram comment section, and go, is this better? Is this good for me? Is this coming from a place of love or fear? Is this adding to the trash of the internet? Or is this, coming from a place where I feel good about, Just really be mindful of where you put your attention.
And for the love of God, fact check things. Oh my God. The spread of misinformation is going to take us all down.
Yeah. And then everyone's going to say everything's AI. It's very interesting.
You have to find a fact in two reputable sources before you start spreading it. If you want to be someone who is responsible with information, that should be the rule.
Yeah. Well, switching gears, I met Seal.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were texting me all weekend. Yes.
I met Seal.
That was a great picture.
Thank you.
Great picture.
He's one of the most beautiful men in the world.
He looked kind of tall.
He's so tall. He's he's over 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's so unbelievably handsome and charming and charismatic, and his voice is just. his voice has been in my head since I was very, very young. I fell in love. I was very affected by music as a child, and his voice in particular, I just gravitated towards in a very unique way. And so I knew he was going to be at this wedding I was at. I love when musicians get married. It's a very entertaining wedding. And my boyfriend was doing the singing for this wedding. So he was kind of band leading the entire thing. And so he wasn't at the ceremony. And it was very beautiful. And I was just kept looking like, is Seal here? Is Seal here? And I was so excited to see him. And I knew he was going to be singing. I didn't know what song. And then I looked at the table, like there was a ton of guests at this wedding, and there was the table seating, and I wasn't on it. And I kept asking my boyfriend, I'm like, does he know he knows I'm coming, right? Because I know the couple, or rather the husband. And I wasn't on the table seating list. And I was like, fuck. And I looked, and the tables looked pretty full. And then I was like, well, I want to sit down somewhere. And so I was told that the one guest that didn't show was Michael Bolton.
Oh, he didn't show.
And I could take his seat with Seal. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Come on.
No, I can't.
Why?
I can't. Because I know me, and I know that I can't be cool for that long at his table. I can't.
Oh, my God.
I'm not putting myself in that position.
Pass the rolls. Come on.
No.
Seal, can you pass the butter? You could have toasted Seal.
I was already planning on asking him to dance with me because my boyfriend was singing the whole time.
This is hilarious to me. I won't sit next to Seal, but I'll ask him to dance.
Because
crazy.
I know me.
Crazy.
I know me, and I'm not good. I need to sit away from him. I can't. He's too... I love him too much.
You're trying to touch his butt?
I wouldn't sit at a table with Beyonce either because I know how I would act.
She wouldn't allow it anyway.
Yeah, nor should she.
Yeah, I was like,
absolutely respect that.
I wouldn't do that either. I was like, but if Seal feels more accessible.
Well, when I saw him at the ceremony, I was like, Jesus Christ. And I already was acting uncool. So I was like, when I was told by one of the planners, hey, you could take Michael Bolton's seat with Seal's table, I go, no, that's okay. Like, can I sit with the two people I know at this wedding? So I did, and I'm glad I did. But then he got up and sang a bunch of songs. And I was like, and I was texting you about this because I don't give a fuck. I am very bold. I'll ask a guy out. I don't care. I'll ask a guy to dance with my boyfriend singing on the thing. I don't care.
Krystyna, you know what the word of Krystyna loves? No.
Yeah. No means we'll save.
Yeah.
Let me try again.
Yeah, exactly. No means try again.
Try harder next time. So I was trying to there was a part after the ceremony where there was this beautiful New Orleans brass band that was playing. They're fucking so good. And Seal was in the room, and I was like dancing to the band. I was like captivated by this band. And Seal was there, and we kind of have like looking at each other. And I'm like, do we have a connection? I think yes.
A connection, or he goes, why does this woman keep looking at me?
See, that's why I don't want to sit at his table. And so, but you got to be mysterious. Like,
and
he
Seal's
saw me
single now, right?
Well, he wasn't there with nobody, and I didn't want to look it up because I didn't want to be disappointed, so I didn't know. I figured, if I asked him to dance, he could say no, that's fine, and, maybe I'll come around after a couple more drinks. And then he could say no again, and then that second no means definitely no. Men don't listen, don't take my advice on that with women. But, so I was going to ask him to dance, so I was trying to say stuff to him as he was going on and off the stage, and I was like, that was really good, but he didn't hear me, so I felt like real lame. And then I went to the bathroom, and I was looking in the mirror, and I'm like, do I go like, Seal, may I have his dance? No, that's lame.
Seal, may I have his
dance? Well, I was going to hit my hand out like Beauty and the Beast,
Oh, no.
And then this is why I didn't allow myself to sit with him.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, who else is born February 19th? This bitch.
Wait, you have the same birthday?
We have the same exact birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact.
And a lot of Hollywood type people are woo woo, so I feel like he would be receptive to that.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that, and then I was practicing all these lines in the bathroom, and then I got back, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna go. Hey, you want to dance? That's the one. That's the one I landed on. And then he sang like a Prince song, and then on his way back, I was like, hey, you want to dance? And he just didn't hear me, but I was like looking right at him, and I was not far away. And I was like, okay, that's not going to work either. And so finally at the end of the night, after he sang a bunch, it was such a great wedding. Oh my God, it was such a great wedding. And I came up to him and I was like, I'm going to ask him for a photo because I talked to one of the musicians. And I was like, is that appropriate? I don't want to be like disrespectful to like the groom who works with him. And the guy was like, no, he loves it. And I was like, okay, he loves it.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, you know, you got to.
Like Ryan Phillippe, I think, liked it at that party. That's why I felt
he
like
was very
whatever.
nice. I mean, my old boss was at a wedding where the Beckhams were at, and he texted me a picture of him and David Beckham. So if that's appropriate, Seal is appropriate.
Yeah, because I never know, like, famous people at weddings. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, but I played it by ear. And so I went at the end and I asked him, because we did share a lot of glances with each other, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, hey, Seal. And he was like, hey, I've been meaning to talk to you. I've been like wanting to talk to you all night. And I was like,
whoa.
What did you just say, Seal?
Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy.
And I almost started crying because, like I said, my friend Eric, who plays piano for Adele, one time he told me when we were hanging out, yeah, I used to work with Seal. And I was like, you call Seal right now on speakerphone. Are you fucking I love Seal.
I guess I just didn't know his legal name was Seal.
I don't know. I guess it is.
Because if people like,
I think it is Seal.
Well, you showed me the seating arrangement, and it just said Seal, and I said, "Really?"
Yeah, Seal. Yeah.
I thought his friends would call him like Derek or something.
No.
Like I don't.
Nah, man, it's fucking Seal. You call Seal in this house.
I was like, "Whoa!"
But yeah, so I did get a picture with him, and I posted on my Instagram. I was on a high about that. I still am. That's one of the coolest. What a year. Steven Jenkins, we've known him for a while, but that's still...
Yeah, he's pretty much our bestie now.
But every time I talk to him, I'm like, I love you, Steven. Like, I can't... It's still hard for me to talk to Steven Jenkins because of the spot in my heart that he had carved out. Well, I carved out for him when I was like 14 years old.
It's so funny the difference between our relationship with Steven Jenkins, because I love Third Eye Blind, but like you like love and like you love Steven Jenkins, and like you're like speechless, and I'm just like, hey dork, what's up? Yeah. I love Steven's like my bro. I love him so much. He brings me such joy. I think he's so funny.
He's so hot.
The way he sees the world to me is so interesting. Yeah. I like genuinely love him. Like it brings me joy to like hang out with Steven. I love him so much.
Yeah, me too. But different reasons, but yeah.
Very different.
But yeah, so that was really cool. Seal is so hot. Jesus Christ, he's so gorgeous. And his voice is I love a male singer. Oh my God. I can't get enough of him. I must just really want the music in me. You know?
You do.
And I'll stop at nothing. But yeah, that was my cool little Seal story.
Oh God, I thought you were like, I'm dating Seal. So it's all over.
I would have texted you that.
Well, I know sometimes big reveals, you wait for the podcast.
Sometimes,
so.
Yeah. But this one was just so special.
Sometimes I do think like this is like how I test if I really like a boyfriend that I'm dating. I think like, hypothetically, what if like Jack White, he's just married now, but like what if Jack White came up to you and was like, wow, I'm just like so taken by your beauty. I've felt a calling since you've been in the room that we need to be together. Like, do I take that opportunity? Like, do I be one of those disgusting trash people who
climb that ladder of celebrity,
who choose celebrity over actual connection?
Yeah, baby.
But then it's like, well, what if you have an actual connection with a celebrity?
That's exactly.
So if you have a connection with a celebrity and you have a connection with a regular person,
you pick the celebrity.
No, I don't know.
This is America, Corinne.
No, I don't know.
That's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted.
I don't know if that's the answer.
No, it's certainly not. Look, I've tried to have romantic connections with celebrities before. And
you have.
I could not get there.
No one's tried harder.
We've tried. I tried. We meaning me. All of me. All the me's. But yeah, just zero. But no, it's certainly possible to have a connection, but I can't imagine. That's just a different level. I do, this is not an opinion that matters in any way, but I do feel for celebs. That's a lot, man. Every time you go somewhere,
that's not normal.
You have to deal with people's experience of you, and that has to be exhausting. Yeah, everyone's
the comments people leave on celebrity, photos. Like if you follow like Dumois or anything like that, just like you would think that they it was their high school nemesis.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It's very strange.
It's very weird behavior, guys. If any of you guys are out there doing that, you don't even have to say anything. You don't have to let us know. Just stop doing that because it's weird.
Yeah.
It makes you look crazy.
Also, you don't own a person and they don't have to bow down to anything or your opinion of them. Like, you don't have power over them. Although I will say there is something, and I have done this, and I'm like, Krystyna, you know better than this. Like when we met Dane Cook for the first time, and I was like, Dane Cook's a dick. Krystyna, shut the fuck. No, he's not. Like I had to like.
So nice.
Well, yeah, the first time he was just very.
Oh, the first time he was busy hitting on 2 girls at once. Yeah,
that's fine.
The second time we met him, he was so nice.
But who the fuck am I?
Right.
All I'm saying is I am absolutely capable of this too. So it's don't like nobody's worse or better than anybody else. But like I was very disappointed in myself when I realized like that's a really shitty reaction, Krystyna, and you feel there's like a sense of power when you criticize a famous person to their face or whatever the fuck, or I've met them, so I can say that they're a dick with certainty. Oh, because like, we know what that's fucking like.
Yeah, because we were introduced to him and he didn't give us like the greeting that we felt we deserved. As
that was my ego.
Like, when you shake someone's hand in that moment, they don't know that you had a picture of them hanging in your dorm room.
They should though.
Like they don't know. Like,
they didn't know.
Right? So I'm like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, he was just, it was more like I was just like, oh, he was like being like, he was just like being like a Hollywood man.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't like. It wasn't like him personally. But
then the
like,
second time we met him when he opened for us, he was so kind. And I'm like,
he couldn't have been nice. A dream to have him open. It was so kind. He was so nice. And I'm like, this is the Dane Cook that we know that we all fell in love with. But we all have different versions of ourselves that, and that just like happens when you're a celebrity. You're on display so much more often and
the public feels like you belong to them. And that's got to be really fucked up for your mental health.
Yeah.
But I could say with certainty that me and Seal, we have the same birthday. We had a special connection at that wedding, even if it was for just a moment in time. And he's got such a beautiful voice and he seems very kind.
Yeah. So that being said, so the other day I was doing stand-up and I did something and referenced Dane Cook. And when you say something and no one laughs and it's not because it wasn't funny, it's because they don't understand your reference.
Oh, yeah.
And I go,
they didn't understand
I stopped the show and I said, I'm sorry, do you guys not know who Dane Cook is?
Were you at the East Village New York Comedy Club?
No, I was at Midtown New York Comedy Club. And they said, and almost the entire audience said no, and I almost fell.
Oh, no.
I'm not like... And I almost don't even want to talk about this publicly because I just, like, no matter what you think about Dane Cook, he made a crazy huge impact on stand-up comedy.
Yes.
The way we see it now. He was a rock star in comedy in the way that we hadn't seen since like Eddie Murphy. Like, he just really like, in my opinion, like brought it back to where it was like during those like classic years. Yeah. So and also he, is the person who started, and maybe we don't want to thank him for this, for how it's ended up, but like the importance of the interaction between artists and fan base and how you can build your own fan base on social media. Like all that credit goes to him. He did he built something incredible, whether you like his comedy or not. And so that really fucking shook me, so that someone can make that big of an impact, can be selling out venues of that size.
Not that long ago, too.
Not that long ago. And, because I was in high school, so maybe like, 20 years?
Yeah.
And 20 years later, an entire audience of people who are at a live stand-up comedy show don't know who he is. That just really, I think that's like that was a really good lesson for ego though, because you go, you're big today, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And we all are so obsessed with like, what's our legacy? Well, if Dane Cook's legacy 20 years later apparently isn't memorable, we're all fucked.
At a comedy club.
We are all fucked.
That's insane.
I was stunned. Yeah, and it wasn't like, I think the audience was like, no, it wasn't even that show with the younger audience. No, it wasn't that. It was regular aged people.
What?
And when I say regular age, usually to me that means 30 to 50. Yeah. That's what I call regular age.
Yeah. I agree. I totally get it, and I agree.
Just so everyone knows what I'm referencing when I say regular aged. Like Eric's young, we're regular aged.
We're regular.
And then some of you are their older viewers, And like 50, like it really isn't old, but it's just like, it's not regular.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you.
I don't know. Like, it's standard for a live comedy show, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe even to 55, but yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, but yeah. All right.
But you know who's not crazy? Or is crazy, maybe in the best way?
He is crazy, but in a fun way. Today's guest. We've been holding this episode for a little bit just because we loved it so much that we wanted to, honestly, like we wanted to place it in the fall in prime time because in podcasting, summer it gets a little less listens.
Fall off. Yeah. And this guest
you're at the beach.
And he's one of the biggest Guys We Fucked fans. He has since blown up in popularity, rightfully so.
But there's this pattern of Guys We Fucked fans becoming more famous than Guys We Fucked.
Bring us along, baby.
I'm not mad. Oh, I told this guest, I said, I'm riding your coattails, so please give me a call.
Thank you. That's great. When one of your people becomes huge, that's fucking fantastic.
Well, it's one of your children is succeeding. So
I love it.
So our son,
proud stage moms.
Our son has really achieved wonderful things in his career, and it's just getting started. Sorry, he's a stand-up comedian. And took over.
No, it's okay. No, because I know you have a special love for him, as do I now. He's amazing. He's a stand-up comic. He's the host of the Feeling Girly Pod. You've probably seen his rants on Instagram that made him so very popular. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited to welcome
Dylan Carlino.